Eso me dicen que ya me dicen que ya es tocar. Yeah, que ya es reality. I can use the camera. Right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Thank you so much for coming and joining us on your Friday night. This is such an exceptional show and such a gift for me as an artist to be able to share the space and share the rehearsal process and everything that's gone into the show with such an amazing crew of performers and choreographers. Actually, I will give credit to Jes Mullette for coming up with this idea, and we brainstormed like, how could this work, and who should we invite, and I have to say we've landed on just some wonderful choreographers, and I've already was hearing last night, oh, do it again, have more different choreographers, and put it together again in a different way. So maybe we will, I don't know it, we're still planning for next season, but it's a really fun show to see how we're all kind of taking on this idea of solo, and some end up kind of duet-ish, and some are solos, and we've all taken on in a different way. So I hope you really enjoy the night, and I just want to thank them for all they've been doing, and our fabulous staff of technicians helping us out as well. Other things, oh, Moon is coming up. So All About Moon is our final show of this season, and I'm choreographing it with the full company, so the company dancers are included in this one, and they've been developing it since September. We started September, we'll be going on in March, and that's in your program on the back, and there's flyers that look like this that are out there if you want to keep track of us a little bit more. And it is truly what it sounds like. It is all about the moon, and we are taking cultural narratives and stories and songs and our own experience, feeling like what does it feel like to be this small human in this ginormous galaxy, and we're kind of putting it all together as personal narrative and researched kind of stories and all these different things, and some projection in that one too. So it's going to be really fun. So look for that early March. Other things, tonight we are having a talk back, which is super fun. It's our only one for this run. So after the show, I think the majority of the choreographers can stay. I'm trying to hold the ones down that thought they had to run. But so most of us will be here to chat about our process and share bits and pieces about what it was like to work together or collaborate with our musicians or whatever the different elements were for those particular solos. So please feel free to stay, ask questions, hear about what we've been doing. It's about an hour-long show, and we don't have a formal intermission, but afterwards, the bathrooms, some of you have already asked me, the bathrooms upstairs are for our use for tonight, but feel free to come run back down and stay for the talk back after that. I think that's it. Make sure your cell phones are off and all that great stuff, and enjoy the show. Thanks.
It is the province of mothers to preserve the myth that we are unburdened with our own problems.
If ever there was a story without a shadow, it would be this: that we as women exist in direct sunlight only. Placed in a circle of immunity, we carry only the crises of those we love.
When women were birds, we knew otherwise. We knew our greatest freedom was in taking flight at night when we could steal the heavenly darkness for ourselves, navigate through the intelligence of stars and the constellations of our own making in the delight and terror of our uncertainty.
I was aware of the silences within my mother. They were her places of strength, inviolable.
Cowboys ain't easy to love and they're harder to hold. They'd rather give you a song than diamonds or gold.
Lone Star belt buckles and old faded Levi's, and each night begins a new day. If you don't understand him, and he don't die young, he'll probably just ride away.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars or drive them old trucks. Let them be doctors and lawyers and such. Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. 'Cause they never stay home and they're always alone, even with someone they love.
Cowboys like smoky old pool rooms and clear mountain mornings.
Little warm puppies and children and girls of the night. Them that don't know him won't like him, and them that do sometimes won't know how to take it.
He ain't wrong, he's just different, but his pride won't let him do things to make you think he's right.
Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Don't let them pick guitars and drive them old trucks. Let them be doctors and lawyers and such. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. 'Cause they never stay home and they're always alone,
Little folks from the orphanages arrived Thursday and will be placed in homes in and around town. A meeting will be held at the Opera House at 11 o'clock this morning for those interested. In the party are 5 girls and 9 boys, ranging in age from 2 to 13 years. They are well-behaved children of faith and look very clean and very decent. Adoption is not demanded. They are placed in homes under contract and are visited twice in the first year and once each year thereafter. Should the child prove unsatisfactory, it will be taken back by the society. Only about 10% are returned. 87% of the children placed do well and grow up to be useful, good men and women.
Hold on. 55. There you go. 7 for my day. 52. 50. One bomb to the one. 52. 48. 55. There you go. 7 for my day. 52. 50. One bomb to the one. 48. 52.
40.
Go with the flow. Assume the best, but get your shots. Pack light. Pack comfy shoes. Pack Imodium for the runs. Pack a map. Look at the map. Leave time to apply for visas. Have extra pages in your passport. Tell someone where you're going. Leave your jewels at home. Take an iPad for communication. Eat the street food, as long as it's hot. Make a schedule with room for changes. If someone grabs your bag, or you, yell. Keep your car's doors locked when you're in it. Carry a book to get you through the delays. Book a place to sleep that first night. If you don't know the words, use your hands. Smile, but don't nod yes. They'll think you understand. Enjoy the physical limbo of plane flight, and wear shoes you can slip off. Ask someone to check your mail for things you shouldn't miss. Be sure your health insurance covers evacuations from anywhere. If someone pulls a gun or a knife, run for cover. Stick with the crowd. Just because they want to get you drunk doesn't mean you have to. Don't worry about looking or sounding like a fool. Then you won't. Treat invitations from strangers with interest, but keep your antenna out. Carry a copy of your passport and the number of the closest U.S. consulate with you at all times. Avoid popular, crowded sites during the day and deserted streets at night. Try the local delicacies, the sheep's brain, the fish eyes, the seal intestines. When the going gets tough, stick it out. But don't feel you have to stick it out forever. If there's a civil war, imminent revolution, rebels in the bush, do some research. Find a local. In crowded places, carry your valuables in front of you, zipped up, with your hand on your bag or gripping the strap. Find out the word for help. It's more important than the word for bathroom, even though you will probably never have to use it. When you want to have a sophisticated conversation, find someone who speaks English or call home. When you get homesick, treat yourself to something nice. A fancy coffee, a cup of hot chocolate, a good dinner. We lived on an island called Zamalek, and most of the island was covered by the Gezira Club, kind of a country club, one of the wealthiest of Cairo's many private institutions. The club had, and still has, expansive grounds, including fields and spaces for horseback riding, tennis courts, pools, etc. It was initially carved out for botanical gardens, then leased to the British Military Command in 1882 for the colonial elite to recreate. By the time I was there, it was open to all. But if potential Egyptian members didn't have an advanced university degree, they were automatically turned down. A rich, wet, green secret. A haven of open space, in the middle of a very crowded, jumbled, stacked on top of each other, wild taxis veering around camels and other cars and walking pedestrians, dense kind of a place. I could go through the gates, because of course it was walled, and let my breath out. I remember going there on the weekend mornings with my mom. We would walk across this beautiful big open field to the tennis courts for lessons. I can just remember it so, 40 years ago. The mist rising out of the grass because it was so moist. And there were these incredible exotic-looking birds called hoopos with a long tail and rust crest and long beak, and they'd be sort of hopping around in the grass. You'd look up, and there were these kites, a kind of a predatory bird, circling around in the thermals because there's heat everywhere, in a place that's essentially a desert, and dun-colored. The club, it was green. There was grass, a haven for the privileged. Cairo was a pivotal place for me, very memorable. I think that I found myself there politically, which is humorous because I was only 11, but was actually fairly radicalized at the time. One of the reasons for this was because I was at an age when I could really understand class difference, economic difference. I was a diver there. Well, both a competitive swimmer and diver. They had one of those 10-meter towers. Standing on the 10-meter was so high. I remember you could look out of the whole city of Cairo because there weren't a lot of really tall buildings in Cairo at that point. The Cairo Tower had really just been built. So if you're on a 10-meter dive, it feels like you're above the whole city, looking out at the whole city before you jump. I couldn't dive off that high. I could only jump, and that was plenty. My 7th grade self, on top of the 10-meter tower, on top of the world, a privileged vantage point. Later, I would dive into the New York City scene and be dwarfed by not only the giant city full of skyscrapers, but the huge personalities and talents in the arts community there. I would fight to feel that tall again. Fight to be seen. I would perform big, talk big, walk big, but never have a clear view of the world around me. I would eventually find my way to Montana. Again, I was dwarfed, but this time by what my mother would later call the most democratic of all landscapes. I was made small once more by the western giants, the Rockies. These green mountains became my playground, and I relished how small I felt in them. I didn't have to fight to feel big. I didn't have to pay with my education or skin color or my wealth to climb up for a view. The mountains give us space and time to slow down. You don't have to be responding and moving and creating and acting. You can just be. Nevertheless, I realize that wherever I go, and as much as I enjoy being in new communities, I am always reacting. Reacting to the object coming at me, reacting to the person talking to me, reacting to trying to understand and communicate. So, I give myself the same advice every time I travel. Find a space, create some time, but still open a new map.
Szerelem, szerelem, átkozott gyötrelem. Miért nem virágoztál minden fa tetején? Minden fa tetején, diófa levelén, hogy szakisztott volna minden lejáns legény. Mert én is szakisztottam, s el is szalasztottam. Én is szakisztottam, s el is szalasztottam. Egyre még szakíztanék, ha jóra találnék, ha jóra, ha szépre, régi szeretőmre. S a régi szeretőmért mit nem cselekedném. Tengerből a vizet kanállal lemerném, s a tenger fenekéről apró gyöngyöt szednék, s a régi szeretőmnek gyöngykoszorú